Today, I have a very fun project for you to do that involves patterned heat transfer vinyl, puff heat transfer vinyl, and regular Caesar Easy Weed heat transfer vinyl. Okay, here are the three colors that I'm using today. All of these are from my craft source. This is just Caesar Easy Weed in black. This is Caesar Easy Puff in, I think, black. There's a chance this is the navy blue one, but it's supposed to be black. And then this one is our patterned heat transfer vinyl, also from my craft source in their patterned heat transfer vinyl section. This is the sunflower print. So we're gonna be using all those today. You're also gonna need a t-shirt or a tote bag or some sort of blank to put your design on. And we're gonna be doing this whole design in Cricut Design Space, which is not something we usually do. So we're gonna do it there today, and we'll go ahead and hop over there and I'll show you how to make your design. So you can go ahead and click New Project. Sometimes when I'm recording my screen, it makes me click it twice. Okay, so go ahead and add some text to your screen here and make it say Wild in all caps. We're gonna take that text and we're gonna change the font by clicking Font right here. That's really cute. Okay, this one's called BFC Wild Thing, so that's what I'm gonna use. I know I need it to be bigger than this. I'm gonna go ahead and make it about 5 inches wide. I don't know if that's exactly what I need, but I know it's close. So we'll play with that for just a minute. And then what I want to do here is create duplicates of this. So we need 3 duplicates here. And then I also am gonna have some script that says child below it, but also I want these to overlap some. But first, I want to fix this because I need it to have an outline. So to do that, we're going to use the offset feature in Cricut Design Space. So when you click offset, here, let's move this out of the way so we can, actually we'll move these. I want you to really see what's going on here. When you click offset, you can see we get these bubble outlines, and that's just showing that it's going to make a separate layer that is just an outline of your word. However, because we're using this bubbly font, this is like a little too much of an offset because you can't even like tell that it's letters. So I'm going to bring that distance down, and you're going to see that's going to tighten it up around our letter here. So I'm going to tighten it up down to 0.111 because I really want this to be tight. And then when you weld the offsets, that just means it's going to make it one layer. You can also change the cornering to be rounded or straight. I tend to prefer the rounded one, but I'll tell you, like on a bubble letter like this, it's not going to be very different from each other. And then when you click apply, you can see it's going to make that little offset layer that is a separate layer from our original lettering there. So it just makes this like kind of cute layered look. It's a really good use of puff vinyl, which is what we're going to use it for, because you can do puff to outline your patterned letter. So now we're going to do something a little different because I don't want this to be filled in. It's really hard to layer puff vinyl on top or under. Sorry, it's easy to layer puff vinyl on top of things. It's hard to layer puff vinyl under things. And because this is going to be our puff vinyl layer, we really need it to be cut out in the sections where these letters are going to go, so it's not sitting under it and creating like extra bulk on our design. So I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to use the slice feature here. So I'm going to line them up exactly how I want them to look. Now I'm going to select both layers and I'm going to select slice. And that is going to create a layer that is truly just an outline. So I can delete that one. And then this will become our puff vinyl layer. So now I don't have to worry about that bulk being underneath. I will have to worry about lining it up, but that's a problem for later. I'm also going to go ahead and make this little wild pink so I can, or yellow, so I can remind myself that that's going to be my patterned vinyl layer. That's going to be my sunflowers there. And then these guys can actually go away because I love this outline. I'm going to duplicate it, and we're going to put these behind, and those are going to be our like just generic heat transfer vinyl layers. I'm going to go ahead and just drag them because it's faster. And I'm going to do the same thing with this slice result. We're going to see if we like what we see here. Let's line everything up. Wild, wild, wild. Very cute. Okay, so we're almost done. I just want to do child now. So I'm going to add some more text. I'm going to put child. And I'm going to change this to like a cursive. So let's go find a good cursive font here. Oh, that is perfection. So we will just put that right here at a little bit of an overlap. And that is going to be our whole design. The only thing I want to make sure to do is make sure the Cricut realizes that those are all the same color because those are all going to be black. but then this outline here needs to be a different color. I don't want it to think I'm cutting that in black because I'm cutting that one in puff vinyl. So it'll have to be a separate mat. So I'm just going to put it as blue for now so the Cricut knows I would like 3 separate colors here, 3 separate layers. And I'm even going to weld or attach these ones right here. I'm going to attach them together, and what attaching does is it tells the Cricut, this is exactly where I want these to be placed in relative space from each other. I don't want that to change. That way, when I'm layering this onto my shirt, I don't have to worry about layering them separately, the 2 wilds and the child. I can just put them all down as one piece, which is exactly what I want to do. So I'm going to attach those, and then I'm going to send that attached layer to the back here. And then that way we will officially only have 3 layers to work with. So we're making it a little simpler on ourselves. I'm going to double check my measurements really quick. Okay, I just double checked my measurements. I actually need this whole thing to be 6 inches wide, so I'm going to fix that. And now we are officially good to go to start cutting with our Cricut. And then I'm going to go ahead and click Make It. I'm going to say that I'm going to use a mat, a 12 by 12. I also am going to go and tell it to remember this selection because I always do that. Okay, so let's talk about mirroring because these designs require different mirrors. Okay, so wild, and child are on regular Caesar Easy Weed, so we're always going to mirror that. We'll go ahead and do that. Our sunflower layer is on patterned heat transfer vinyl, which actually does not require a mirror because it's going to need a transfer tape mask. So we're going to leave that one. And then our puff vinyl does require a mirror. So we're going to go ahead and mirror that. And then we should be ready to cut. So let's go ahead and hit continue. We're going to go ahead and select everyday iron on. That is fine for all 3 of these materials, and default pressure is also fine. And now we are ready to load it up and start cutting. Okay, so now we are just going to cut each of these down to size so that we can save any of the excess. On pattern vinyl, it's particularly hard to see where you cut. So I like to turn it over and you can kind of peel it back a little bit to see what you're working with. And now we're going to weed each layer. So we'll start with our patterned vinyl here. You can use your fingers to find the edge. And you'll be able to feel that little seam. And that'll help you kind of get your hook in there and lift up towards the edge. Once you find that first edge, it should be pretty easy from there. And then we'll just have to weed out the center of this D. So I'm again feeling for the seam. And once I find it, I'm just gonna weed that section out. On this black vinyl, it's much easier to see what you're doing here. Once you've found that first seam, you can just go ahead and pull the rest of the vinyl away, and then we'll just have to do the little interiors. If you cannot pull your vinyl like that without messing up your design, it may be time to look at some different vinyl. This is Caesar Easy Weed, and it truly is what its name suggests. It weeds very easy. You can buy TTD Easy Mask in just a roll like this. You can see that I've taped mine so that I know what it is. You can just cut the size that you need. I don't need a big piece here today, so I'm just gonna go ahead and eyeball it. So here's my little piece, and now let's apply it. So you apply a TTD Easy Mask just like you would transfer tape. You can use your weeding hook to kind of peel up the corner, or you can just use your fingernails if you have them. You're just gonna peel away this clear part, and you're gonna apply it straight to your design. So then once you have it attached, you can flip it over, slowly peel away that original backing layer. And if you pressed it down good enough, your design should be stuck to your Easy Mask here. Sometimes you have to encourage it a little bit, especially if you didn't use like a squeegee or something to get it on there. So sometimes I press it down just a little more as I'm going, just to make sure we get a good attaching. Okay, so we are gonna set our heat press to 305 in 10 seconds, and that's for our Easy Weed and our patterned vinyl, and then we will change that heat setting when we get to the puff. Okay, first we're just gonna press our shirt by itself to get all the wrinkles out and make sure it's ready for adhering. Okay, we're gonna do our Easy Weed layer first. Okay, now we're doing our patterned HTV layer, still pressing at 305 for 10 seconds. Okay, lining up your puff vinyl is the hardest part. Okay, we are pressing this one at 280 for 8 seconds. The key here is firm pressure. So you definitely want to clamp your heat press all the way shut.